Hey everyone, I'm Johnny, and today we're taking a look at Chinese World War II cinema. China has a long lineage of excellent action movies and epics, but they also have a few excellent World War II movies. China's role in World War II is often overshadowed in the West by the American Pacific theater of war with Japan. However, China's war with Japan ran significantly longer, from 1937 to 1945, and was a true fight for survival, with loss of life eclipsing all nations with the exception of Russia. China's involvement in World War II is referred to as the Second Sino-Japanese War, and we can access a window into this war with the following three Chinese-produced movies. Number 3, Death and Glory in Changde. Based on the events of the Battle of Changde in November of 1943, where the Imperial Japanese Army has surrounded the entire city, with the Chinese National Revolutionary Army ordered to defend the city to the death. The battle is bloody, with the Chinese forces fighting to the last round before the city falls. True to history, you'll witness some fairly brutal tactics by the Japanese army in this battle, including the execution of prisoners and the use of chemical weapons. In the end, the Chinese would suffer 7,900 casualties out of the original 8,000 defenders, resulting in one of the bloodiest holdouts in World War II. The defenders of Changde gave time for the Chinese reinforcements to counter-encircle the Japanese, and the city would be retaken only a few days later. Overall, the sets, uniforms, and action beat expectations, making this a must-see for Chinese World War II cinema. Number 2, The Flowers of War. Taking place during the Nanking Massacre, this movie is inspired by the diary of an American missionary in China who at the time helped provide aid to thousands of Chinese refugees fleeing from the Japanese army. Though a Chinese production, you'll recognize Christian Bale, who gives a solid performance without overshadowing any of the prominent Chinese leads.
No soldiers here! You have no business being here!
Flowers of War does a good job at capturing the fear of the massacre through the lens of a small group of refugees. The Nanking Massacre took place in December of 1937, and an estimated 300,000 civilians were killed during the event. These numbers remain a contentious issue in Chinese-Japanese relations to this day. For those wanting to learn more about the Nanking Massacre, I recommend the documentary simply titled Nanking from 2007. Number 1, The 800, another movie featuring the defense of a city against overwhelming odds. This time following 800 Chinese soldiers ordered to defend a Shanghai warehouse down to the last man. The Battle of Shanghai took place early in the Sino-Japanese War in 1937. One of the first questions people ask about this movie is why are the Chinese soldiers using German equipment? The 800 were part of a German-trained division from the Sino-German Cooperation, which began in 1926 to shore up raw resources for Germany and in turn modernize military industry for China. Tactically, there was some criticism for the 800 being ordered to fight to the last man, as they represented some of the best trained soldiers in China. However, their sacrifice has also been called a morale boost, and a signal to Japanese forces that the Chinese would not lose a war of attrition on their homeland. Many Western nations witnessed the heroic Chinese defense in full view from the neighboring international settlement. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thank you for considering these 3 Chinese World War II movie recommendations. This list is not comprehensive, so please feel free to add to it in the comments section below. If you want to support the channel, consider liking the video and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.